All right, we're going. So let's start this off with a simple thing, which is, would you like me to introduce you, or would you like to introduce yourself?
I'm intrigued to hear how you're gonna introduce me.
This is what everyone says, you know. I'm not gonna lie. I always ask that question. They're like, I wonder how you're gonna do.
I want to hear what you have to say.
So I would say first and foremost, if we're being technical,
Cool.
we have expert photographer,
Allow me.
visual guru.
All right.
What else can we go with? Artist of the black and white, definitely. Like crazy.
Play with it.
But also like, you know, part-time rapper, man of the community. I don't even know you personally, but I know that. DresLenses, but I'm not going to say your government, but obviously like DresLenses.
No. Everyone can know my government.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Hello, everyone. Damn, I haven't shown my face in a few years. My name is DeAndre LJ Echo Bonzi. Young black man from South London, trying to turn a penny to a pound. That's me.
I'm so upset. That was such a good government name. I was expecting something embarrassing. You know when people have like stage names and you're like, they're probably called Robert.
Yeah.
Like,
Behind the scenes. No. I've met a lot of those people. It's like, your name's Clarence? That's his body. Sorry, can I swear?
No, of course you can.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
who gives a fuck?
Yeah, right, cool.
I don't care.
Yeah.
But I have met someone. I think I met someone who was called like I fucking hate this guy. It was like this young white kid from like Cheshire, and he was like, blood, I'm T Killer. And I'm like, oh, what's your name though? What's your name? Like, actually, and it's like, I'm Timothy. And I'm like, oh, sick.
Literally, yeah. You see, now I'd understand why you call yourself T Killer now.
Yeah, I get it. Because Timothy don't run in rap.
At all. Yeah, why go on, black? My name is Timothy. It's not
Timmy,
working.
bro.
Yeah.
Timmy Turner, you're getting played.
Trust me.
You're getting played.
Yeah, for real.
But let's talk about you. Let's get to it. I would say, argue the main thing I know you from, obviously, is not only Instagram, but just like photography in general.
Cool. Yeah.
The start of that, how did you get into photography to start with? Or rather, how long's your journey into photography? Because if you were to look at your page...
I had my year ago birthday on June 23rd this year. That was my year birthday. So I'll take you to the year prior to that. I was just in a different headspace. I just turned 21, just like thinking about where I wanted my life or how I wanted my life to go. Currently, before that, I was acting. I just graduated the Brit School, done like a few TV small bits and pieces here and there. I wasn't like no big cat or nothing like that, but I was making my way into it. COVID happened. I kind of realized if this all goes left, what's there gonna be there for me, kind of thing. And I just didn't see it as a sustainable thing. I loved acting, and I loved the art form of it, but what's gonna bring the money home at the end of the day? I don't want to seem like a very money-centered person, but you just need it to live. So I just thought about how can I stay connected without being so connected. And then at that time, I just started a production company called Pretty Boy. Not because I'm arrogant. Pretty standard
because I'm factual.
Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna start saying that now. Not because I'm arrogant, because I'm factual. Pretty standard for personally repairing entities told to youths.
Oh shit!
And it was literally just like a young. I went to Brit, innit? And I don't know, growing up as like a young black guy in South London, not to make it a black thing, but like growing up as like a young man in general in South London, there wasn't that many like older male role models, so to speak. And I don't know, I knew I couldn't change that in essence because I'm only, 18 at this time. I'm still a kid myself. But I looked at me and I looked at the peers that I met at that school, and I was like, who we are, what we're doing, young kids from urbanized areas doing something that's against the grain. We are walking pieces of content, kind of thing. Like the conversations that we'd have, us experiencing, us actually being beings. Like content is everything now, so it's like you can find content in anything. So I don't know, I was just looking around. Yeah, for real. I was just looking around, and I was just like, yeah, we need to do something here. So I got me and a few of my brethren together. It actually was, sorry, this is gonna be some loop around.
No, go for it.
I'm gonna get into it. I'm a lad. So it was our final year performance, innit? And they let us, for some weird reason, pick our groups. And obviously we'd known each other for now 2 years. I was at Brit 2 years previous doing year 10 and year 11, but this is sixth form now. And we were all just sat down thinking, calm, like let's just work together, do a theatre piece. But obviously you get a bunch of friends together to go and do work. Sometimes work doesn't get done.
Yeah, it never happens.
And there was a guy, one of my good brothers, Taj Miles, He's an actor now. Well, he was an actor before, but he was in film and media the previous 2 years before he switched to theatre. And he took us to this room, this film and media room, and it was a room like this. It was like a radio suite, innit?
Yeah.
And like I'm a big kid, like at the foundation of who I am, I'm a massive child. So when I kind of came into this room and I'm seeing these mics, I'm seeing like a control board and stuff like that, instantly like I just want to play and I want to have fun. So like we were meant to sit there and speak about this play that we're meant to be devising, but obviously the man them just get distracted and we start going onto our different avenues and lanes. And then I just press record and then I listen back to it. I'm like, this is sick, bro. Like, man, proper needs to think about this. So then that turned into that, ended up turning into a podcast, started filming it, and then turned into a production company, started doing like little TV shows. If you're a real one and you're watching this and you know me, you'll remember Monday Munch with the man them. That was a good time to be alive. And then, yeah, it just started turning into Instagram lives when Corona happened. That's how I met Righteous. I just reached out to him one day and I was just like, yo, I think Charlie Sloth was doing his Fire on the Live, or he was just doing some type of spin-off during COVID, and I saw Righteous, is formerly known as Reckless at that point. I saw his and I was just like, this kid is different. So that's how me and him kind of, that was our first kind of meeting. Then 2021, one of the members of the group went behind all of our backs, not just mine, and deleted it.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Good friend of mine, to be honest. At the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just kind of threw me back really and truly, because for what it represented for me, for the people around me, the opportunities it was creating, even the work that me and that person had done together in the group, it was a lot at that time. But it was cool because I was working, I was doing like night shifts at Waitrose, just on some robot thing. That fried my brain. Like it was cool, but it just fried my brain. And then when that happened, I was like, cool, I need to do something. I've realized I don't really like acting, because I felt like in life sometimes you'll kind of go through it and a path will naturally open up for you, and you just need to have the foresight to like see that person that's at the end of that and ask yourself if you're comfortable with that or not. And then that's how I personally make my decisions. And I was seeing what I'd look like as DeAndre the actor, and I was just like, it's cool, but I don't think it's me at this present moment in time. So obviously I was working night shifts. When you work night shifts, especially in a warehouse, you get paid a decent amount. And it was like I was just looking at a camera now, because at that time I was using my girlfriend's camera at the time that she gave to me, and my brethren's camera. Like we were filming in two different cameras, one Nikon, one Canon, and yeah, the quality was just mad. But just makeshift, just trying to make it work, kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm very well.
Yeah, for real. You lot sort of set up right now. It's crazy, but. Sorry to bait you out.
No, it's fine. We used the first episode of this was with like my broken phone. Like
serious.
we're good,
Yeah. No, man, but you understand what it's like. It's like making do with what you have, kind of thing. So yeah, I was just looking at it, and it was me and my two brothers. Shout out Keish and Tyreek, because if they didn't have the faith, even though the thing had been deleted, and like even now at this present moment in time, Pretty Boy isn't a thing anymore.
Sure.
At that given moment in time, they still had the faith and I feel like it's just faith. They just had the faith in me just to be like, you know what, come, let's invest in this thing. Tell a lie, I'm capping. We invested and then it got deleted. Yeah. That's why it was a heartbreak. So yeah, me and my two brothers, we were just looking at it when it was growing. We kind of slowed down because one person left, the person that deleted it.
Right.
And we were just looking at it, just like, cool, we just got to go harder now. So we all put money down to get a gimbal, a Ronin, and then two Sony A7 IIIs, because obviously we wanted two at the same camera angles. For 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds, that's just not cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not cheap at all. Yeah, it's not cheap now. But like, yeah, just like, I just remember being that age and like, this is the first thing that we're proper investing in. Like, at the time, I was doing like a bit of cryptocurrency and but it was like actually putting my money down, knowing I'm not going to make a single penny back, just like believing in myself and believing in my vision and my art, and having two people that loved me and respected me and had faith in me enough to do that was just mad heartwarming. So it's always love to you, man, forever and always. But so then yeah, after that it got deleted, and then I was just pissed in it. We were all kind of in a way. And
So did you see growth, and then it was
yeah. No, we were doing well, man. Like we were doing proper well. Like to this day, people talk to me about that. Like to this day, like it doesn't get any easier. It's still painful when people ask me about it, but like to know it had that much of an impact, and we stopped 2021 and we're 2023 now, and people are still like even the guys told me as well, that the people I'm telling you, Tyreek and Keish, like
yeah.
I think we just hit about now. Yeah, we hit our 50th episode, our 50th podcast episode. We done like a few what do you call it? Like spin-off shows. Like we had the Monday Munch with the Mandem thing. We also just had we went for Rishi Sunak actually. That was funny. When the whole Creative Arts Fund thing happened during COVID, actually done the maths for it, and it would only cost 0.1% of that fund to fund every single drama school kid across the whole country for a whole year. And then when we were looking at where the money actually went, it was just like, who is this for kind of thing. So we made a video in response to that. That got a lot of stuff. We did one for what it was like growing up to be black. We were hitting a lot of issues. You know what?
Yeah.
Big up my thing. It was going
It
well.
was relevant.
Yeah, it was relevant. Like it was doing a lot. But yeah, hate is a powerful drug, I guess.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Especially for it to be the person that left.
Yeah. It was the person, and like he left a few times as well. But like we still kept letting him back in, and I don't even want to sound salty, but still kept leaving him back in. And
yeah.
I only found out that he was the one who deleted it the other day. Still.
Oh shit! That's a recent discovery.
Yeah, no, for real. At the time, obviously, it made sense and it all leaded to it.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't in the mind space to think about that. I just wouldn't have been able to compute at that time, just because it's wrecky, man. So yeah, like literally, my brethren pulled me aside the other day, and he was just like, him and the guy were on some type of influence. That's why I'm not going to say any names, but. Apparently my man started tripping out really bad, obviously from the guilt, and then he just spewed it all out to my brethren, and then my brethren told me, and then I was just like, oh damn, like now I know. And then funny enough, my man messaged me the other day, I can't remember on what, like when I think it was just a bit before my birthday, so just a bit before March. I found out that he was the one who deleted it maybe last year December. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a couple of months, basically.
Yeah, a couple of months. Oh damn, we're in August. I'm like moving like it was the other day. So yeah, and then at the top of this year, bro, it's flown by.
Yeah,
at the top of this year, he messaged me on some dumbness, but I just kind of left it on red, whatever. So yeah, when obviously it got deleted, I was just kind of looking at the Mandem a bit stressed, because it's just like they've obviously put down a bunch of money.
Of course, yeah, time, effort, sweat, tears, everything.
Tears. Like, you know what it is? They didn't actually mind about it being deleted as such, because we were speaking about like. Because we were moving a bit. We had no media training, so
fair.
with Tyreek, he's an actor. He just graduated the Guildhall, just finished a tour with the RSC, so big up his
crazy.
Team. And Keish is like a cryptocurrency investor. He runs like a teaching platform online and stuff like that. So like they were slowly everyone's about to start maturing, innit?
Sure.
You turn 19, you're about to turn into 20. Everyone's trying to be a big person, kind of thing. So it's like your digital footprint is peak. You know, if they find that and
very true,
you said some
true.
stuff and it doesn't align with what you're doing, it can be very wrecky. So it being deleted and it being wiped clean, we weren't too mad about it. It was more just the fact of the money that we kind of put down, and it's like, what's happening with all this equipment, right? They weren't too mad. I mean, Tyreek is an actor, so he needs to film show reels all the time.
Self-tapes,
so
etc.
He can take the camera. Keish, like, he's a genius. Like, he does everything. Like, I do everything, but he does everything as well. All the people kind of around me, we're just kids with too much energy. So he would need it. So then they said that they'd share it happily. And then it was August of last year. No, the year before that. 2 years ago, August. And then I just put out some deal when I was just like, listen, if you cover my travel and my food, if you have an idea of anything, we will film it. Just feed me and let me get there safe, and I'm good. So I did that for like a whole month. Ended up spewing into like 2 or 3 months, just because you meet new people.
Sure, yeah.
Opportunities come up. Get heavy into the video bag till last year, June. And I just turned 21 in March. And I was just going through a rough phase. We'll get into that later. And then I was just thinking like, I want to leave London. I just wasn't happy here. There was just nothing really fulfilling me here. I just wasn't grateful of what was actually around me. So me and a few of my female friends, we went to Montenegro, just on a holiday on a random one. And I wanted to kind of go with women as well to kind of get a bit more in touch with my emotions and just like really take a chance to like think about what I want to do with the rest of my life kind of thing. So when I got back, literally, I think we got back on the night or maybe in the morning or something like that. One of my good friends, Josh Alexander, he's an amazing poet. You guys should check him out. He was performing at this event called Underground Bars. And I used to do poetry a bit before all this mad long story that I've been telling back when I was like 16, 17.
Sure.
That's what kind of got me into the Brit sixth form, because like I'm not a very, I don't work very well in institutions. Like I don't work very well with authority. So school for me was a bit.
You went to the Brit school?
Yeah, so I went to the Brit school.
Yeah.
Like school for me wasn't a very, it wasn't for my brain, and I'm a very rebellious kid, and I know how to talk. So when teachers are trying to get onto me, I can kind of swindle it away and boom, 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 boom. But I discovered poetry when I went to Brit, and people just loved it. So I would always perform at all the assemblies, and that was kind of like my hallway pass to like not coming to school on certain days.
Right, okay.
Dum, 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 dum. So when I was doing that, I met a woman called Chloe Carter, with 2 R's. I have to say with 2 R's. And this event that Josh posted, it was Chloe Carter's event, and I ain't seen Chloe in like what, at this time, like 3 years, 4 years. So I'm like, cool, bunny. Like, I just got back to London. I'm really thinking about leaving here and just gonna go live somewhere in Europe. Maybe not Montenegro, but just somewhere in Europe.
Sure.
I kind of like the vibe. So I was like, cool, ban it. Let me actually just go, and just see what happens. And then as I'm about to leave my door, like it was like a movie, bro. As I'm about to leave my door, I just see my camera just on the table, and I'm just like about to head out. And I'm just like, you know what? Like I think the door's even open. I see it like over the corner of my shoulder. I'm like, you know what? Let me just bring it with me. Boom. Message the Underground Bars page, just like, yo, I want to come take photos. And they were doing it in conjunction with BMT Stories. Shout out Chris and Fusion.
You got every name ready, you know, that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's like every institution you got, okay, these 5 people.
Yeah, for real. No, good brothers. They're just really trying to make a change in the community. Shout them out for real. They were doing the event with Underground Bars because they had the space, and it was like a collaboration kind of thing. So I messaged both pages, didn't get any response because it's like 2 or 3 hours before the actual event. But I'm just like, bun it, unreally, it's just how I am. Let me just go and deal with it when I get there kind of thing. Go there now, see a few people, see a few friendly faces, and I'm just like, I haven't been to a poetry event this time in about like 3-4 years, just because I've been focused on this Brit School acting thing, and I've been focused on this podcasting thing. So I haven't actually, that is something that I do genuinely love. I have a love for. So it was nice to kind of like reconnect with that, see a few like old faces, like people I ain't seen in like 3-4 years again. When I kind of met Chloe and Red Tete. So yeah, got to have that, and I just felt instantly home, and I felt like that feeling that I was looking for, of like me wanting to leave London, it instantly just disappeared from that moment, because when I got there, obviously started taking photos. Funny enough, their photographer let them down that day, so they actually had no photographer. So the fact that I pulled up was even crazier. And then obviously do my thing, boom, 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 boom. People liked it, and that was the very first day I took a photo to answer that question. That was probably like
that was about half an hour ago. Yeah, absolutely. No. I think it's important to get like, you know, backstory on actual story for that to work, because it's crazy to think, because that's also shit I didn't know, despite the fact that I tried to research you. Like I didn't know about the, you know, from Brit School to obviously your production company to this and this and this. It's interesting to think about like the idea that you were thinking of leaving London as a whole.
I was thinking about going, I'll be honest.
And don't worry about it.
I was thinking about, I was gone.
So you were thinking of leaving, and then the poetry, the event itself is what made you feel like things were right.
Yeah. That's why I always shoot Underground Bars. Like, even if it's just out of the way, or even if they don't need me that day, I'll always pull up, and I'll just participate in their workshops, or I'll take pictures of their workshops. Like, I have a lot. I feel like in life you meet people sometimes, and like there's a much deeper meaning for it, and especially with Chloe and Malik, who just recently got engaged. They got engaged at their first year birthday of the event. It was crazy. Didn't tell no one. I'm there with my camera, just like, oh my god, I need to capture this in the best way possible. So yeah, congratulations to them. Yeah, like when you meet people like that who are just Malik, even him and himself, like that's a black male role model. Even though he's only like maybe like what 3-4 years older than me. Like I look at that guy and I'm just like, yeah, that is something that I aspire to be like. So shout out Malik as well for real.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then obviously you said that you did poetry yourself as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, is that have you performed poetry like afterwards?
Yeah. So yeah, afterwards or after that,
like after the school stuff and like once you started taking pictures of events and stuff.
I actually performed at an underground bars one time.
Yeah.
And then now I've just recently started up my baby production company, which is my own now.
Yeah.
Pretty Boy is still alive somewhere. It's just when Tyreek has finished being an amazing actor and Keisha's got some... Tyreek will never be finished being an amazing actor, but when he's got a lot more spare
free time,
yeah. And with Keisha as well, we've all spoken and we've all been like, when it's the right time, it will always be there, and it's bigger than us. It's got nothing to even do about us. And that was the direction we were even going to take it and end up taking it. So yeah, we're all just kind of doing our own respective things. And now my thing is now Echo Productions, which is actually, if you listen to my government name, one of my middle names, and it's also Woke Backwards, which I kind of like. And on there is kind of, it's me. It's how I see the world. It's DresLenses. It's DeAndre. And it's like a mixture of, right now there's only 2 posts on there. There's one that I dropped on my 22nd birthday and one I just dropped the other day when I was in Italy. And it's right now it's just poetry with visuals, but it's about to grow and expand into something better. But yeah, look out for Echo Productions. Yeah.
I was gonna say, so like since I haven't known you like that, but like since I've like discovered you and stuff like that, which was like again through Righteous, who we talked about and stuff like that, I've noticed like obviously your photography, there's like a treasure trove of that over the internet if you really look for it, but also then I started seeing like little bits of like visuals and stuff, and then obviously I've seen, obviously with Echo Productions, I've seen the little clips that you put out and stuff, and then also I think you recorded some visuals for Righteous.
Yeah.
It's always hard to get that name, but and I was thinking like, is your move now? Because obviously I was unaware of the previous production. I was going to say, is your move now to focus back into having that multidisciplinary thing? Because I knew you could take photos. I obviously knew you had the ability to do visuals, because there's one thing being a photographer, but also you kind of start to think about being a videographer at the same time usually.
Yeah. Mine was videos to photos. I was more scared of photos, to be honest.
You're more scared of photos? Yeah. I get that. Yeah. So like, I'm very much an amateur. Like if you're like, I'm not even in the frame. Not even in the frame.
I'm definitely still a baby in this thing. I've got a lot to learn.
Nah, but even so, like, if we're just comparing, like, I'm very much like beginner. Fucking pick up your camera and press a button.
But I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's even why I wanted to speak to you. Like, you do have the, I don't know. Again, we don't know each other. This is the very first.
This is like when we've talked vocally.
But, yeah, for real. But I respect the hustle. I saw like, I don't know. I saw Trubs and then I saw Righteous. And I don't know. I just like the way you move, bro. And,
I didn't do it.
No. I know you feel like you haven't done anything, but you know it's just, I don't know. I believe in natural navigation, innit?
Right.
And I'm a energy vibes man. I'm not really a rock person, but like I'm a proper like, I don't know. I can just feel things sometimes, and the energy that you got and how you're willing to make things work and still do what you need to do. I respect it. So I wouldn't downplay yourself like that, man. Because even if you don't feel like you got the skills you got the skills most definitely, but even if you feel like you haven't got the portfolio, the mindset is there. And in some ways I know people with £15,000 cameras with a mind of mush, and for you to have that, no, for real talk, I'm not gonna lie to you, and for you to have what you have with your mindset is much more valuable. So don't downplay yourself, bro.
That was very nice, but the way I'm gonna edit that out, this is crazy. I just appreciate it.
That's all good, man.
I'll never believe it, but I'll appreciate it.
No, you should though. 100%.
But I was gonna mention, like, as an element of like, I love photography. I love like not even doing it, just like looking at photography. I love visuals, etc., movies.
Yeah.
But like, I can completely understand the fear when it comes to photos versus videos.
Yeah,
I feel like photos, it very much feels like in the. I mean, now we got digital and we can redo and post, but it really does feel like that of like you're trying to capture everything in like one frame.
Yeah, when I first go
ahead.
When I first started, yeah, it was very much like me at this poetry show which I was speaking about, just like trying not to look awkward because you got to get up right close to the people and like you're just in front of everyone, trying to get angles and shit and not look stupid and I didn't even care about looking stupid. I have no shame, I'll be honest. But like it was very daunting, and I don't know, if I'm being honest, I'm gonna get honest right now, and a lot of people might hate me for this, but I don't edit photos. I don't I shoot it in JPEG. For me, it's all about just the real moment. It's all about just.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm completely with you shooting in JPEG.
Yeah,
I don't. I looked at Lightroom once and like I was like, I don't. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I won't say I obviously do edit my photos a little bit because I do fuck up. But it's usually to like, I fucking lost focus here. Let me blur everything else instead.
I hear that. For me, because I was doing the black and white thing, I felt like I didn't have to. But like, I don't know, man. It's just, for me.
Are you shooting black and white straight out the camera? Straight out the camera.
Yeah, straight out the camera. And now I'm starting to do that with video as well because I learned that I could do that. So yeah, it's just. Fears are stupid, man. And I shouldn't have been as scared of photos as I was because now, well, everything happens at the right time. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I prefer it as a business better than videos, but I think my heart will always belong with videos.
Okay, the narrative, telling the story, the composition, etc.
100%.
I was gonna say, like, when it comes to just cameras in general, like whether it's video photography, like. It's all down to like how you view it through the lens. I feel like that's the most important thing is that when you get a camera, like if you, me, some guy on the street, all get the same camera, we're going to shoot differently depending on how we see shit, right?
100%.
I was going to say, what do you think makes you, when you make a photo or a video, what do you think has that special quality that you have other than like the vision, like the intention? What else do you think is there?
I feel like I say this a lot, but I just life is a movie. Everyone that I meet, like you'll hear me say it like a few times. Like it's just like live your movie, man. Like really, it's beautiful that we can just stand here with cameras and like point it at something and it can gain interest and people get sucked into it and for a few minutes or hour of the day, that thing that you're worrying about just disappears. And that's how I try and live in real life. So like DresLenses, the lenses are my eyes. Like from a kid, I've always like seen life differently. Like I always think about what's the best case scenario and always try to achieve to get that. I've always thought about what's the best way to make things look cool. How do I perceive things mentally? And the visual side of it, I don't know, I just kind of get in a zone. Because obviously, even with the camera, like I'm holding it at different heights, I'm changing the angle all the time. It just happens, bro. Because me and my really good friend Anusha, like we laugh at it all the time that like I'm a photographer because we just both find it so funny. Like I just would have never seen this coming. If you told me this 3 years ago, 2 years ago, even if you told me last year who I've taken photos of this past year, like I'd laugh in your face, bro. Genuinely, like I would have, like I would.
I mean, I would ask where you want to start that list because it's a long list. If you look at, I mean, there's nines. Yeah, you're doing the BTS for nines as well.
Yeah. So funny enough, I'm actually gonna tell you guys the truth. Social media's a lie. So
you weren't there? It's AI. I get it. Okay, cool.
So I weren't there. It was someone else. Not joking. I used to work for a lighting company. Shout out London Lighting. For 3 months, I was working there from February to about May. So obviously I'm working in a lighting company, and I'm there for lighting. But I have my camera with me 24s.
Of course.
Whenever I'm there, I'm just shooting. So I'm just getting my pictures and. People see stuff on because the same picture I take of nines is exactly the same picture I take of Chloe Carter or Malik or Josh.
Yeah,
it's exactly the same photo. But obviously when people see faces and names and Clark and stuff, they kind of lose their wig a bit. But yeah, that's how I kind of just snuck in and got these kind of high profile shots. I was working with a lighting company, so shout out London Lighting because
it's weird because you're saying this and like the reason I asked you the question about like what you think makes your like images yours and stuff. is like, other than just the fact that obviously you focus on like black and white a lot, and I'm sure that decision is intentional for a reason, or just because you thought it was
I've
cool.
got a few
Either one.
reasons. Nah, yeah.
But like, I remember looking at your pictures and thinking like, even though it's funny because like the pictures look like, oh, cool, he's experienced something, and this is literally like his vision of what he's experienced. But in a way that feels like, oh, you're trying to be a part of that moment. But it's also in black and white, which is like the antithesis to like what we see, because we got like full color HD, whatever in our eye. Well, not HD, I got terrible eyes. But like, you know what I'm saying? We got full on color, but the way you use black and white, there's like softness to it. There's like an element of like, it's almost lived in. It feels like you've taken an old sort of film picture, like kind of color with it, but like it feels softer than that, because obviously old film pictures usually have like a grain to it, whereas yours are more like
clean.
Yeah. And it's not like a digital clean. It's not like very specific, let me zoom in on a pixel. It just looks natural. Do you get me? Which is kind of why I asked. I was thinking like, do you focus on that aspect when you're shooting, or is it just something that happens?
So the black and white thing, it was like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it was what people would always just tell me. Like, I'm not that friend. I'm not the empathetic friend.
Right.
Okay. I've got no time for your pain.
Right.
Like, if you want an answer, like if you want an answer, like do that. And that would get me in a lot of trouble with my female friends, and everyone would just tell me like, Dre, you see life in black and white, like things aren't that simple. And I'm just like, yeah, sometimes black and white mixes together and it makes grey, which is those tones that you're speaking about. So it's like, yeah, that's just how I've always seen things, man. And yeah, I don't know, man. Color to me just seems, you know what it is? I think I got told something when I was a kid, and it's always just stuck with me, that like no two humans can ever experience the same things. So like this green that's over here,
it's a different green to me. Yeah,
different green. So I was just like, why would I waste my time with color? Like I'm a very definite kind of person. I like making sure that when I'm doing something, it can be interpreted in the best way possible. So black and white just seemed like the easier answer, something that's kind of followed me in life. And I was a bit too lazy to learn how to edit photos. So
there is that as well.
Yeah, it just kind of naturally came like that. Yeah.
No, that's great. Okay, so it is that idea. I like the link in the idea that you're just kind of straightforward and use it with that. That being said, yeah, I can see how that's trouble. I can see anytime someone wants empathy from you, and you're like,
I'm just like don't get twisted. Like I can hug.
I can hug.
Yeah, like I'll hug you.
You want solutions, or you want to hug? You can pick.
Yeah. I might give you the solution whilst I'm hugging you, kind of thing. So it's like, I don't know, man. I just, you know what it is? It's my mumsy, man. Like, I just watched that woman battle life. And I just know that I ain't got nothing to answer about. And these flipping millennial problems that we got nowadays, we ain't got nothing to really. Everyone's got their own and goes through their own struggles, 100%. But for me, again, it was like that London thing I was speaking before. Like, I just wasn't grateful for London. I just like the fact that we can come to a space like this and record this podcast just because we can. That's lit. Like, I shouldn't be sad about anything. Like, why? Like, even if I haven't eaten, I ate today, which I've eaten today. But like, to know that this is here. Like, this outweighs a lot of problems that I feel like most people have, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is just one aspect of stuff. So
it's a privilege.
Yeah,
like, it's literally just the level of privilege. London is crazy in regard to like spaces.
Facts.
I think the biggest downfall of London obviously is just like economy wise. Like everything is costly.
It's definitely tough out here.
But that's kind of just how London's been.
But you know, it is. I feel like I'd even extend it to England, because basically I went to Ghana, and I'm from Ghana. From my dad's side. I went to Ghana for a month in September. One of my best friends became a chief in a village.
Oh shit!
And there's a documentary of it coming out soon on Echo Productions.
Oh shit! Okay.
And I'm gonna announce it now, so I definitely need to stick by it. Next year.
If you say a date right now, I'll put it in the fucking trailer for the episode.
6th of March, 2024. Let me just double check.
Yeah. We'll edit this bit.
If I say.
So that was a fucking lie.
1 second, because I've actually got it written down. Yes, I was right. I should never.
6th of March 2024.
6th of March 2024. Coming to Ghana is going to be out on Echo Productions. It's following the story of my best friend, my brother, becoming a chief in his homeland village, taking over his grandfather's responsibility. Is some of the craziest things I've ever watched and experienced, because it happened to us. It was wild. So 6th of March 2024. Look out for it. Yeah.
God.
So yeah, I can't remember why I got onto that. England. So when I was in Ghana for a month, I realized there's people out there with so much less doing way more, kind of thing. So yeah, empathy, sympathy, especially in this climate, I can't really have it. I'm a human at the end of the day, I feel things and stuff, but especially for my friends and people who I see doing amazing things, as you, like yourself, I see you as a friend doing amazing stuff.
I can agree with one of those sentiments. I'll take the friend thing. I'll steal that. I don't mind that.
But like, if you had any problems that like, I don't know, I'm just that person who will look at you just like, are you an idiot, bruv? Like, do you know how great you are? Like, why are you upset?
I got loads of friends that call me an idiot, so I relate.
Hey, you're sick, you know.
Nah, I understand what you're saying. I completely understand.
You're a sick man still. Like, for your brain to go there, it's fine. It's fine. No, I rate you, proper. But yeah, like I'm just that type of person who's just like, look, you got so much to be grateful for. This little piece of problem that's coming and stressing your head shouldn't really be stressing your head. Like, chill out, man. You'll be cool. So yeah, that's does get me in trouble with bit people here and there, but everyone knows I'm doing it out of love. So.
Yeah, of course. You were talking before about like, obviously not only like what your mom's gone through, but like you also got like people that surround you that sound like they're going through their own journeys, which crazy journeys, but still journeys in themselves. I was gonna say like influences for you, because like photography wise, it seems as though you're working off of like literally just your own perspective and how that works. So it's very self-driven.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking like, when it comes to influences regarding literally anything else in your life.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say with visuals, like in regards to like recording visuals, and like you're kind of basically doing movie making, no matter how small you record something. Like even if you make like a TikTok, technically you're making like visuals. Do you know what I'm saying? And in that regard, I'm like, is that again something that's fully yourself driven, or like when it comes to editing, because you have to edit videos unless you're doing one takes, then you're crazy, but you'll have to edit it. Is there something like that you look to that you kind of recognize as something?
My influences. Okay, so cool. My opening statement is I'm a filmmaker who doesn't watch films.
I love that you said my opening. Like this is the trial of fucking lenses.
Yeah, that's my opening statement. But
you're a filmmaker who doesn't watch films.
I don't watch films. I just don't. I've got a massive watch list of stuff I need to watch
because you don't watch films. That's why.
Because like like people have conversations about films, and I'll be looking at them like, huh? You know what it is? I recently just got my Apple TV credit for a documentary that I filmed just before I went to Ghana, actually.
Yeah.
So just before I went to Ghana, Jesus Christ, I love going on roundabouts. Just before I went to Ghana, a month before, like literally like I think it was like we finished the course, and like the next 2 days I went to Ghana. But there was a course with Apple and Fully Focused, which are like I don't know if you heard of them. They're like a youth media channel.
Yeah, I think I've seen like websites and stuff when I pretend that I can make stuff.
Yeah, but like they got like a YouTube channel called Millionaire Youth Media.
Yes.
There's been like, I want to say a Shiro story, but I don't think so. I think I'm lying there. But like they got a bunch of films that are out, and they're like they're UK young filmmaking kind of peoples. So yeah, they had a thing with Apple. I applied, got in. But when I was there, I was surrounded by like 40 filmmakers. And at the time, I'm just a brother with a camera. Like I've had my camera maybe a year, or like I'm actively using it properly. Like take away from like the month free trial that I was doing.
Sure.
Like actually, I would say that I properly got invested into videos like 2 years ago, November kind of time. So at this time, it's like August, and it's like it's just been about a year that like I've been filming, and like these people have been doing it for years. Like even that, actually, I'll come back with that one with the influences. But yeah, when I was there, it's like that's probably where the watch list kind of grew the most, innit? Because like I'm here speaking to people, and they're talking about Wes Anderson and Spielberg and all these man here, and I've got no idea what the hell they're I remember the first.
You don't know who Spielberg is?
No, I know who
like that was before
I can't name 5 films that he's done. Like I can't, kind of thing. So like I remember the first day, like it was like a icebreakers kind of thing, and the icebreaker was just like, yeah, talk to us about your favorite film kind of thing. And I was in a group with these 2 other girls, and like they're just talking and boom, man, you see this and this and this and that. You want to know my influences? My influences are Don't Jealous Me, Diary of a Bad Man, Jazzy's Barbershop, flipping FIFA and Chill, old KSI.
This is the YouTube education.
Yeah, I grew up in the golden
Hamza
era.
Productions.
Yeah, Hamza Productions.
That's decade ago. Yeah.
Shout out Don't Jealous Me. He's got the same birthday
Absolutely.
as me. Actually saw him on my birthday. that was lit. I remember that day. But yeah, those are my influences, bro. And when I was at Brit acting, I was just doing a really bad Will Smith impression, not like Will Smith from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Right.
Because you know, at that time he wasn't actually an actor. Like if you watch the acting in the show, it's horrible.
Yeah, because he was a rapper.
Because he was a rapper.
He was Jazzy Jeff and them.
Yeah, but it was just like that confidence that he kind of had on screen, and like to kind of sell it. And obviously he had James Avery as like a mentor and stuff like that. And he was surrounded by other actors. Like that essence, that's what I was trying to replicate in Shakespeare that we might do at Brit. And here, there. So yeah, in terms of influences, those are really my influences. I'll be honest, I don't like being good at stuff. I never really.
What a problem to have, Drake.
Yeah, bro. Like I don't like being in a room and being the best.
Sure.
I don't get anything from it.
You just like being one of something.
Yeah, like, or even I just like being the worst and like finding a way to work my way up. Because with me, especially like I mean, we've already done like the past 6 years or 5 years of my life now. Like I love doing stuff. I feel like as humans, we get one chance to kind of live this life. Whilst we're here, we might as well do as much as we can, kind of thing. Obviously, while still maintaining a life and money and family and boom, 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 boom. But like, I'm here to experience everything, kind of thing. So that I guess life is my influence. That's kind of been the way stuff is kind of shaped out. Yeah.
So when those two girls in your group are like talking about movies back and forth, and they come to you, do you just go, "I'm my own influence"?
like they were talking about. You know what I was doing? I was just playing it off. Like I was just asking the bare questions. Like that's how I was playing it off. I was just like, yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, tell me about that. Cool. And then that's I think that conversation is what started the watch list, or like made me want to cull the watch list. And like,
Sure.
I probably, in your note section, you got like bare stuff all over the place. Like that actually made me want to like be like, all right, I need to start. If I want to make films, I should watch films at least. I've been trying. I've been watching a few more here and there. But like,
out of the 5 movies you've seen, Drake, what's your favorite?
Out of the 5 movies I've seen, what's my favorite? What's my favorite film of all time? Or do you want to save that to the end?
Well, your favorite doesn't have to be the one that you take with you.
Cool. Oh yeah, that's very true. My favorite film that I've ever seen would probably have to be.
Well, I don't even have to pay for sound effects. So that's great.
Favorite film. Probably Monsters Inc.
There's a
banger of a film.
I love this is I'm the opposite of you.
Yeah.
I'm not a filmmaker.
Yeah.
I've seen a whole ton of films. I'm an encyclopedia of film.
I'm gonna get you to add to my watch list later.
You don't want to do that, trust me. I don't. It will be as big as the Library of Alexandria. That shit is, and it'll be as lost as well.
No, trust me.
But Billy Crystal, who plays Mike Wazowski in that film.
Wow, you know the name, Jane.
Yeah. Oh no, don't worry. Billy Crystal's like one of my favorite people because like he's very much like obviously from a different era, but. He's just a tiny funny guy, and I'm I'm a tiny funny guy. I can do that. But Monsters Inc. is great. I do love Monsters Inc. He's in a film called When Harry Met Sally, which is like
Harry Met Sally.
Iconic film, like genuinely big. You don't have to write that one down, bro. But it's literally just like a romantic comedy, but it's one that kind of sets a lot of stages that we see in like modern romantic comedies.
Okay, what do you mean?
So like, obviously, I'm like way older than everyone that's ever been on this thing. But when it comes to romantic comedies now, they will have tropes and they will have like little steps and things they take, and you kind of recognize, you notice patterns when you watch a lot of the same thing, right? When Harry Met Sally for me is like, I see the genesis of those tropes. Like this is the first time they did this thing, and this is the first time they did this thing. And I think it's really important to look at movies or look at any sort of media that starts something that tries to be replicated and sometimes doesn't actually match. It's like it's also because like Eddie Murphy is like one of my favorite people as well.
Oh, Eddie Murphy's in it?
No.
Okay,
but Eddie Murphy is a good example of someone who like did a bunch of movies where he does something for the first time that like you haven't seen a lot, and then people try and replicate, even himself tries to replicate it later on, and it doesn't work out.
He did like a Norbit 2 or something.
Yeah, we ain't got to talk about Norbit. We got to talk about it. Anyway, ignoring the film thing, or rather that I'm the fucking film nerd. So you went on the program for the Apple.
Yeah. So yeah, that was cool. That was like my first. I feel like that's what made me call myself a filmmaker. I haven't called myself a filmmaker yet. I feel like when that documentary drops, then I'll call myself a filmmaker. But right, like
the one about your best friend in Ghana.
My best friend in Ghana.
Yeah.
But yeah, this made me kind of like step in front of the mirror at least this whole course. Because yeah, when I got accepted, like I think I did it in bed, like the what do you call it? I sent like a video.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I just sent like a video. Like literally, I think definitely no. I was sitting on my bed, put up the phone, waffled a bit, and then they're like, oh yeah, this is mad. So basically, when they responded with an acceptance, it went to my spam email, and then on the last day, I get a call from Shaz. I'll type Shaz. She always looks out for me. I didn't know her at this point, but yeah, she calls me, and then she's just like, "Hi, is this DeAndre?" And I'm just like, "Yeah." No, I'll tell you what happened. This is why it's even funnier. The day before this day was the hottest day of the year, and my bed broke, so I couldn't sleep on my bed on the hottest day of the year. That pissed me off. So I had to sleep downstairs on the floor, and then my mum woke up, went to work, and I was just like, cool, fuck it, let me just go lie in her bed real quick. Phone rings. I'm like, blood, I really want to go to sleep, but this phone is ringing. All right, cool, let me answer it. It's an unknown number. I don't even answer them, but I was just like, let me answer it. She's like, hey, is this DeAndre speaking? Yeah, boom, boom, boom. Hi, this is so-and-so from the Apple and Fully Focused course. If we've accepted you, would you like to participate? And I'm just like, hell yeah. Kind of thing. And then they're breaking it down. Like, there was a few mentors there. My one was Basma, type Basma. There was Gabriel Moses, who's an amazing photographer. Nathan Miller, who's an amazing documentary filmmaker. And the other one, I'm so sorry, I didn't speak to you at all, so I forgot your name. But no offense. Saba, I want to say her name was Saba. But yeah, she's just like, yeah, and you're gonna have a premiere in a cinema. So I was just like, all right, I guess I'm a filmmaker. It was in Finsbury Park Picture House, Screen 1, and like Screen 1 is where they screen most big things.
Yeah.
So like, that course was fun, man. It opened my eyes to a lot. Realized I don't work well in a team at all. I was a director of photography for it, which was cool, but I'm used to being the director, producer, editor, everything. So yeah, it was first time working with a team, which was cool. Now I've got an Apple TV credit in my first year of like videography, which is lit. And my mum was able to sit next to me in a cinema, packed out cinema, to watch my film. And then they chose me to speak to everyone in the cinema as well, which was lit. So yeah, that was a good course, man. It was proper cool.
It's starting to sound unfair the more I talk to you. I'll be so honest. It's like, man's great photos, great videos, shown in a cinema.
I've had a good life. I'm grateful.
Production, YouTube, raised on the same sort of level of comedy I was from internet. Fucking, and also rapping. Let's talk about the rapping actually. Yeah, fuck this.
All right.
Like,
cool. All right.
So I think I saw like it must have been like snippets or something of someone else's story or something.
I get a bit drunk sometimes and I think I'm a rapper. Yeah, that's what happens all the time.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I was watching it and I was just thinking like, oh fuck, can he actually rap as well? Like,
yeah.
Because you're not terrible. I mean, the fact that you're drunk doesn't help.
I'm not. Yeah. I'm not terrible. You know, it is like, you just grow up in it, and then like everyone's rapping. I went Brit. Everyone's just like mad, amped up all the time.
Fair.
Like I went to school with like a few people who are like musicians now, like, and everyone's just cool, chilling. Like someone might be beating on a desk, or someone might have I was always the kid with a speaker. I was never in school, but you'll know I was in school because you'll hear me. You'll hear me playing music down the corridor. I was always that kid with a speaker. I run a few instrumentals, people rapping. I used to run events. Had like a music event. Because I just loved music, and people, it was like a no phones event called What Are You On? And yeah, I was just always been surrounded by music. My uncle was actually like, what's that style of music? A jungle artist.
Oh shit.
He just died the other day, so rest in peace, Skippy D. But yeah, it was always in my blood. My dad used to own a record label when he was younger. One of my uncles is like president at Sony kind of thing. So it's like, yeah, I've always been surrounded by it, but I never really took it serious because I don't know, man. Being a rapper's a bit moist, man. No, let me not say that. I'm sorry. Let me apologize on that.
That's the only clip that's coming out now.
Yeah, that's the vague clip. Everyone. Nah. I'm
gonna send that to Righteous myself. He's the one who shouted you out as well. I'm gonna send it to him myself.
No. I take that back. No, you know what it is? I don't take that back. Fuck it. No, I'll stand on what I said. Like, you know what it is? It's the persona of it, man. I just don't mess with it. Like, the chains, the cars, the bitches, the whole I'm not saying bitches and hoes. I'm saying like the way that they say it. Yeah. Like it's like it's a bit too much for me, man. Like, and especially working in this industry, I've realized that artists are literally just artists. Like, especially when they're not like, I mean, especially when they blow up, like they are literally just like idols, like empty idols who are just meant to kind of like promote a certain message and rare-tear for the revenue of someone else. And it just doesn't sit right with me in a sense. It's also why I kind of like strayed away from acting as well, because I felt like a similar type of vibe. For me, it's never really been about being that person or rare-tear. It's just doing stuff which I love. And like I said, I genuinely love music. It's like I used to produce when I was younger. Rapped a little bit here and there.
Just make the list longer.
Like all my brethren, like whenever we're like rapping and stuff, they always like force me to say a few things. I used to do poetry and stuff like that. So like it's always just been links. But like I'm gonna announce it. All right, cool. End of this year, I'm gonna drop an EP. Either an EP or a mixtape, one of the two. I haven't decided yet.
Did you just spend like 5 to 7 minutes explaining that you've been around music, but you're not a rapper, and then go, but I'm dropping an EP?
Yeah, because you know what it is, I've never really like locked into a studio and like rapped on beats and like really taken time to make a project. I've never really done something like that. So like right now, it's always just been very much entertainment. But this year, especially towards the end of this year, man, want to proper lock in on music and release a body of music, because people have been on my neck for it for a while. So I'm just gonna do it. I wouldn't call myself a rapper or nothing like that. I like to just call myself an artist. Just like with photography, videography. I feel like it just all kind of suits under one thing. People say multidisciplinary, but it's just a bit too much of a mouthful. I just like to call myself an artist. So like,
plus it's harder for me to hate on you if I don't have to list out the 50 fucking things you do and just say artist.
For real. You know what it is? I actually do say that I'm just a human being, and I'm just doing what I love. Literally got love tattooed on me the other day.
Oh shit!
It's just all about. Shout out to Maylee.
I was gonna say, tell me about the tats though.
Yeah. So LJ, that's my middle name. If you've heard in the government, that's gonna be my artist name, LJ. This one says, well, for you'll see like woke for Katie.
But it's
Echo. Like when I look in the mirror, I always see Echo. Obviously just got love. Just got this like 2-3 days ago. I got patience on this shoulder, prosperity on this shoulder. I got 222 on my right leg. In Ghana, funny story, nearly died out there. It's going to be in the documentary. Will not speak any more of it than that. And nearly died out there. And on the other leg, I got 777. The right side of my body is for my father, because that's where apparently your masculine energy is stored.
Right.
And the left side is for my mother, and that's where your feminine energy is stored. So yeah, I'm kind of dedicating it to them, and through their DNA, the experiences that I experience. Want to kind of turn my body into like an art piece kind of thing. But look forward to music and things like that. And yeah, I will slowly come out. I call myself an in the closet rapper for now. When I kind of release,
I think that means something different. I'll be so real with you.
Yeah. But I call myself that for now. When I kind of release, I might start calling myself a rapper. But yeah, right now it's just obviously because I go to like a few where you've seen me rapping those clips that have been at like improv jazz nights.
Yeah, of course.
I'm a little waved. I don't feel any social anxiety. Let me just jump on stage and try and make words rhyme, kind of thing. But yeah, gonna hopefully lock in with someone sometime soon, because I need to get it out very soon. And then just let it fly, man.
I'm gonna bring this to a sort of close in a minute, just because there's only so much hatred I can put on myself before I just throw myself off a roof. We do a thing every show where we basically say, you've been kidnapped, taken to a desert island.
Cool.
You're gonna live there for the rest of your life. Which for you, I'm not gonna lie, it just sounds like you're gonna make it a peaceful thing. And like, you're gonna enjoy it.
Chilling.
And I'm like, what's the point? Don't even give him anything. He's fine.
Yeah, just leave me with me. I'll be calm.
But you get to take one album, one movie, one book. For a man who doesn't watch films, I feel that bit should be easy.
Yeah.
But the book and are you a big book reader? Do you enjoy like a lot of reading?
I like a book, but I just find them a bit boring, man.
So do you like a book?
Yeah. Like I like them, but I just at this moment in time in life, I just don't have the time to just sit there and look at a page. Maybe when I've made it a bit more and I'm a bit more financially stable, I might be that guy just with his glass of wine and a book, like fireplace and that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. When it comes to like reading, I love reading.
Yeah.
Everything. Sure, why not? Even the bad shit.
Yeah.
But like, I started like my mom used to be into like crime novels and stuff, so I used to start reading those, and after a while they get a bit too predictable. But as I got into poetry, because I also enjoy poetry, poetry books fucking great, especially like old Persian poets like Farsi, etc., like genuinely beautiful shit. And then I kind of switched into like things like Murakami, who's like he's a Japanese writer, but like they're sort of trancey, something isn't right sort of things, but they're all just about life. It's not like it's not like Black Mirror where things are off and thus you should be scared. It's like things are off, but because you need to recognize that acceptance is not the same thing as guilt and grief. And I'm like, oh shit, fuck.
Trust me.
But those are the types of things I probably recommend to you.
No,
because they get hella interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested to read that stuff.
That being said, fuck those books. What book are you taking? What book are you taking?
What book am I
why
taking?
is it The Hungry Caterpillar? That's a bad fucking book as well.
No, I proper remember that book. My mom used to read me that. What book am I taking with me? Okay, all of them I'm gonna be battling with myself because once I think of one, I think of another. But right now, if we're doing like a poem thing, I had a Rose That Grew from Concrete, which was like Tupac's, all the Tupac's old, like literally from his notepad and stuff like that. But if I don't take that, I would take Atomic Habits with me, just because I would actually pick it up and read it because it's just been sitting on my desk for how long?
Fair.
My friend gave it to me. I haven't touched it.
No, fair.
Just because he told me like it's not really a book you read from start to end. It's like something you pick up at a chapter and then you study that chapter and then you move back and forth. And if I was stuck on an island, I'd probably want that. Film wise, again, it's another tie. It's a film called Waves. You might have watched it.
Yeah, I've seen
Waves,
it. A24 Waves, good soundtrack.
That was a banging film. And City of God. I really fuck with City of God for the photography element
Absolutely.
as well.
The same with Waves is really good fucking photography, to be fair.
Yeah. But now I'm thinking of Queen and Slim, because that's a really beautifully shot film.
Queen and, okay. I would probably say Queen and Slim over Waves.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not my island. Why do I give a fuck? But, City of God's a really good fucking
I think
album.
City of God might need to take it. And an album, For Your Eyes Only, J. Cole. That album is going to live with me for the rest of my life.
It's a good shot. How do you feel about Forest Hills? I feel like people kind of jump between the two.
How do I feel about Forest Hill? Forest Hill is cool, but I feel like when I have children, if I have children, like
it'll hit more.
No, not even it will hit more. I just want to see their reaction to it.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, I want to see how they interpret the music. I'm very intrigued to see how the music we grow up on is gonna change the youth now, because songs are just getting shorter and shorter. Like 2 minute songs,
minute and a half, right?
Aren't even a thing no more.
I know.
It's just getting shorter and shorter. So like, I still prefer For Your Eyes Only, but with that album especially 2014 Forest Hill, I'm just intrigued to see how it ages. Wow, 10 years is next year. Wow, maybe 20 years then. I'm very intrigued to see how that project ages in 20 years. For Your Eyes Only, I know that's gonna be me for the rest. But yeah, I'm definitely excited to see how it transcends generations.
I also love that conversation will be the essence of like, oh, listen to this music, kids. They listen to it like, all right, cool. You've served your purpose. You can go out into the world. I don't need you no more.
No, for real.
I told you to write and read for this purpose.
For this purpose only.
For
Mr. Jermaine and that him alone. For real.
Biggest compliment to J. Cole.
Trust
literally.
Me. Oh, J. Cole, man.
It was lovely talking to you.
Very
this is literally, unless you want to say some shit, of course, you can shout people out, say what you want. You can make your own episode. Oh yeah, of course.
Love you, mums. Forever and always. Shout out to you, Mr. Rick, because I'm gonna gas you again, because you probably taken some of the gassing out, so now you're gonna be forced to keep this unless you cut me short after the mum thing. So fuck you if you did that.
Well, not really, because I kept the mum thing. So nice.
So shout out you, shout out your platform. You're very dedicated.
I should say, not my platform. Shout out Common Sounds. Those guys,
shout out Common Sounds for real. I've seen you do some beautiful work for my brother, which makes you a brother of mine as well. And may you lot continue success and prosperity for all. Much
prosperity
love.
For all, except for rappers who are moist. And
except for the moist rappers.
Tag in righteous. Anyway, all right, let me stop this now.